Right on the corner. Oh, just hold it right there. Got it? And when I snap it, it's going to make a puff of smoke, right? Okay? Good. And hold it right there. Oh, that's no good. Today I finished all the house wrap and all the strapping. Some of this stuff I did off camera. I was just in that mode where I just felt like getting it done. So I didn't film everything, but you can see here I got strapping all the way around. And then that allows me to start on the board and batten. I'll start on the back in case I make a mistake. Nobody will see it, but anyway, all the strapping is done. And the house wrap is running wild, but that'll get trimmed back later on. And I've decided, yeah, I'm going to build a 6-foot deck off of this once major construction is over with. So we'll just put a 6-foot deck on here. And then I got to build a ramp on this side for the door. Probably be about 7, maybe 8 feet long, whatever. I don't want it to be too steep because I'll be able to get in and out of there. So you can see here that everything is done. All the strapping is on the roof, ready to go. I'm going to order the metal, and that should probably take a couple days for them to prepare, and then get that done. And then that way I can get the this door installed, and that patio door, and then the windows up top, and get this thing dried in. using the width of my pencil to space these out, and I'm only going to nail them on one side because these are still wet. It gives an opportunity for it to stretch. So pencil width between, and then I'll rip battens, 2-inch battens, and that'll cover up these gaps. Don't do it like that, kids. Pretty dangerous. This is the piece that I ripped off. So, just reference, it's 2 inches. These boards are all 8 inches, so it'll be a little bit less than 2 inches. Should be able to get 4 of these battens per board out. And that's what it will look like. But I gotta do all the soffits first because I want these to, because they stick out. So I'll do all the soffits first, and these will butt up against it. So these are the last things I will do. Well, that's good. I'll come back and nail all these back with some shorter nails. All I have is 3.5 right now. I really need some 2 or 2 1/8 or something like that, because otherwise they'll blow right through. I don't want that. Anyway, so we'll just continue on the other side. Once I get these nails, I'll come back and do all that stuff. They're just on back order right now. It is what it is. That's the last board. So that's the last board. Now I got to do battens, but first let's do all the soffits because the battens got to go up against it. So yeah, we got to do soffits next. I have to put a bit of blocking in here on account of the strapping and the wood sticking out to act as a bit of a nailer for the F channel. all the siding is finished. I mean, I still got to do the battens, but you can see on all 4 sides, it is all done. Speaking of which, did all the soffits on the first floor, if you will. Oh, wait, I still got to do, oh yeah, well, that's the upper section. So you can see here all the siding is done, and I did all the soffits along this side. Obviously there's trim that goes over top of that, and I just got a voicemail. Apparently the metal roof is ready for pickup, so I'm going to go and get that tomorrow, because it's going to be a rainy day tomorrow, so I won't be able to work on this, I suspect anyway. So that's what I've got done today. It's a lot of work, but it's getting there. Well, back at the grind. Rained a little bit last night. Today's goal, we want to do some roofing. So yesterday I picked up my roofing materials. So I've got my sheets here. Company did an excellent job at packaging everything. I just unwrapped it all. So anyway, so I have some drip edge here. We're going to install that first. This is these are gable. That's a gable trim. And I have some ridge cap there, and then some flashing, end wall flashing, and then some custom made 6x2 fascia. Normally it's dimensional lumber. But anyways, you guys did a really good job of packaging everything, so nothing is scratched. So that's the goal here. We're going to put some drip edge first. That has to go on first. So drip edge goes along the top, and then we'll put some sheets on. And you can see here that I've been doing some soffit work. So yeah, that's the goal. So drip edge first, then some sheets on. Fascia will slide in afterwards, because the fascia goes up against there, and then L, and that will hold that in place. I still have to do some soffit work up in here, but there's an order as to how things have to work here, because I have some end wall, which is some flashing that has to go between sort of the boards that go vertically up there, and it has to go on top of the metal. So it's like I have to do the drip edge, put the metal in, and then put the end wall flashing on, then my wood, and then the soffit track. So anyways, you can see here it's complicated, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to put some drip edge on first. I have 4 pieces of this. I'm going to start with the first one. This is easy. It just goes on with some roofing nails. A little bit precarious here, but I think we're okay. If I was smart, I'd really put my scaffolding on back here, but anyway, so here's the drip edge. Let's shove that down so that it stays flush. Sort of like that. Not gonna go anywhere. Hold it on with some roofing nails. And you don't need a lot of nails for this, because your sheet metal for the roof is going to be holding this in place anyway. So, a couple, 3 nails is all you really need. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. If you do appreciate it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, like, whatever. Try not to beg people for that kind of stuff, because it's not really my style. I just do this for fun, and hopefully in some cases it's educational for you guys. Let's see here. Should I overlap this? How much overlap have I got here? Oh, I got tons. That's fine. Not hurting anything. What I want to do is make sure that that end is flush. Yeah, I could come over maybe a 1/4 inch, I think. Yeah, that's what happens. Come on, stay up there, you. There you go. Alright, that's going to stay there. I really don't want the wind to be picking up today. Not good for doing roofing. And then one more down there where the overlap is. There we go. Alright, that's not going anywhere. Yeah, let's do the front too while we're at it. Get it over with. Later on, if we have to, we can put a screw right there. But that takes care of the drip edge. So now we can start putting some panels on. But before I begin, we're going to do some quick measurements here as to far as where we're going to put everything. Now, we're going to be nailing in 2 inches from the end. I'm going to have a 1-inch overhang, so we're going to call that 3 inches there. And then from 3 to the middle of the purlin, at 2 feet. I know these are all 2 feet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to have to pre-drill some of these panels just to make it a little bit easier. If I come in here at 2 feet, I am, well, let's figure this out here. We're going to do the first one at 3 inches and the next one at 25.5. Right, so let's use this as a method to record. So we're going to come here at yeah, we're going to come in here. I'll put the measurement at 25.5. One measurement like that. I'm going to hit record. There we go. So yeah, 1 inch. We'll put that at 3 inches. There we go, like that. Record that measurement too, so we know what we're at. And then each one of these is 36 inches. So yeah, that should be at 3 feet. Yeah, it should be pretty good. I had them cut a short piece like this, 2-footer. Didn't cost much because I want to make a cover for the heat pump. So kind of on an angle like that, just to protect it in the winter. That'll be a future video when I make that. So anyways, look how nice this is. They protected everything here with little sheets of plastic. And these are the short pieces that go on the short roof. So I'm going to take these, set them aside. Now, one thing I've learned from experience is that it's much easier to pre-drill your holes rather than trying to self-pierce them on the roof. Given I'm working by myself, that's what we're going to do. So we have a 1-inch overhang, so we decided that, so I'm just going to mark the rib here. So 3 inches right there. And 3 inches right here. And then from there, we're going to do 24. Well, we did measure it, right? We said it was 2 foot, 1.5 inches. So 25.5. And that was from the edge of the, not including the 1 inch. So that means we need to be at 26.5. That should put us at 24-ish. 6 foot. And I'm not going to do the top because the ridge cap is going to cover that. All right. Now, before we drill, we got to double check all of our measurements. So, 3 inches for the first one, and then 24 in center from there. 24. Let's just do a quick, we're at 2.5 extra over. So, 1, 2.5. Whoop. So, 1, 2.5. 1, 2.5. And then 10 foot, 1, 2.5. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Now use our framing square, drywall square. Now this can be a bit precarious. Again, I'm just marking the ribs, and there's different schools of thought as far as drilling these are concerned. Do you go on the flat or do you go on the peak? I have, they gave me 2-inch screws, so I think I'm going to go on the peak. Where are we here? We're here, there, there, there. Well, I just finished drilling all that. It only took about 5 minutes. One thing you should do though is that all these shavings, blow them off. Otherwise, sometimes they have a tendency to stick onto the metal and then it'll rust. It'll look like hell. Okay. Now we're ready to put these on. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up because it's a very expensive mistake. So these are the screws they gave me. I have 2 packages of 1 and a bit screws. These are 2-inch. And since I'm drilling on the cap bridges, I'm going to use the 2-inch. Take a handful of these, just stick them in my pocket. And then I have several rolls of this closure material. And that goes between the drip edge and the end of the panel, just to keep the critters out. This is sticky, so one side sticks down and the other side just gets compressed when you put your panel down. First panel. And as I said, because that end is the overlap, I got to start on this end because you want pieces to overlap. Sometimes when you do roofs, you also have to take into account prevailing winds. I'm sheltered here in the woods, so it doesn't really matter. But if the winds are out of the west, you'd want your overlaps to go sort of in this direction. So if the wind doesn't have a chance to pull up your panels, obviously in the opposite direction would be the case, but not for here. Oh! Okay. I'm gonna find a different way of doing this now. Now these have a driver bit, so make sure you use not an impact driver. You need to use an actual drill for this and set your clutch fairly low. When you put your screws in, you don't want them to be compressed too much. So let's see if I can get this panel up without too much effort. I really wish I had help, but that's not so bad. There we go. Come on. Well, that's not so bad. Oh, just on the edge like that. Okay, now. Yeah, look at that. My holes are all lining up perfectly. Good. Now, I do need to go on the outside with my 1-inch spacing block. I'm going to push this up. So I get 1 inch here. And okay. Yeah, that's good. I don't want it too tight. Still have to get my closure in underneath it. Yeah. Put it there. Yeah, we're still. There we go. I want that there. That there. Well, I did some measuring off camera, and we're all lined up. So we'll just put in a few screws here and there. Not too much. And certainly not this one, because overlap's got to happen there. Later on, I'll get up on the roof and do the rest of them. Do what I can here to reach. Ah, bye, screw. Whoa, whoa, see? That's... Okay, so what I need to do is put my way low. Over torquing. And that's the other thing that I think, that by putting them on the flats, you increase the chances of more water infiltration, because water will go off the ridges and slide down and rest in here, whereas up here has less of a chance to do that. So anyways, different philosophy, but this is the way I look at it. Ah, see? That's too little, so I'll put it at 2. Nope, maybe it does need to be 3. And 3, just got to be careful with it. And like I said, I won't do the last little bit here because I got to put my closures in there. So I got these things called mosquito dunks because I've got this trench back here, and we started noticing some mosquitoes. So before they start biting us in earnest, I'm going to, apparently you just toss these in the water. Let's see if this works here. Come on. These aren't cheap, by the way. These are about 30 bucks. But if it helps, it helps. Come on. Packaging. I hate packaging. Okay. So, these are my French grains. Come out, so let me just toss that in the water. Toss a few of these. Oh. Down in the trench, just to keep the bugs at bay. Something like that, I guess. There is bugs in the water. I do see them. Whoops, I lost my knife. The other thing that freaks me out a little bit back here is just, we get, what are they called? Ticks. Yeah, there's lots of standing water here. Try to control these guys. Now that looks like a mosquito pond if I ever saw one. Well, hopefully you can see, but I do have the roof on there, and some fascia installed. I got all the soffits done on this side. I'm just hoping that I have enough fascia to do everything, so what I'm trying to do here is do the long sections first, and any short stuff that I have left over I can fill in. They tell me that I have enough, but we'll see. Anyway, so you can see here all the soffits are done there. I just put this fascia on the back, but I'll do that last because that's the part you won't see. And if I back up here a little bit, you'll see that there's the metal roof on there. That's what I set out to do today. That was my accomplished goal, was to get this thing somewhat dried in, because it's been raining the last couple of days, and even though my floor is a little bit wet, the plastic's doing its job, but I think some of the moisture's gotten underneath. First window's installed. I got a little carried away, so I did it off camera. But it is raining a little bit, and I don't want to be up on that second roof up there because it's a bit slippery. But I managed to install it, and I managed to install it from inside the shed, which is good. So anyways, they're actually white. I painted that black as an experiment, and it seems to be sticking, so I'll paint the other two, put those two in. And you can see here that I got the ridge cap and the fascia on one side. I just got to finish this soffit sort of on that side of the shed so that I can finish off the roof, and then we'll be golden.